And so they said, you have to give us enough money now that gives us the normal cost of the fund plus an amount equal or sufficient to bring the pension fund up to 90% funded by 2040. So what this was aimed at doing is stopping the flow downward of the pension fund by saying, okay, no more 2.26, you got to start going up and paying us more money because our liabilities are up there and we've given you enough time here, we're calling our loan, we're calling our marker, you got to start paying us. And so the city agreed to that because the union had negotiated it with the legislature. Now, the actuarially required funding is a hard thing to say over and over, so we call it ARC. So when you hear people talk about ARC funding, that's what they're talking about. No longer a multiplier. Now it's like, hey, what do you owe divided by the 15 years, excuse me, the 35 years, 25 years between 2015 and 2040, and that's what you have to pay. Okay, so that sounded really good. We're all like, hey, that's good. Okay, but now, just to back up a little, a lot of people, when I talk about the pension funds, we talk about what's got to be paid. They say, well, wait, I don't get it. It's all complicated. What is actuarial funding? What does it mean to say a normal cost? And really, the normal cost is just what it costs for your benefits over your lifetime. If we took Mr. Sheehan and said he came in on January 1, 2005, he's going to work to 2035, he makes, I'm going to make it up, $10,000 a year, it's going to go up 3% every year. We take all that, we value it on what his pension would be, that's his normal cost. But we add that up for every single person and all their beneficiaries and all of their spouses. And when we add all that up on an annual basis, that's the normal cost. It's really what you pay out every year to the members in benefits each and every year. So think about it. It's like your budget at home. At the end of the year, you add up everything you've paid out, that's your normal cost. So now the city's going to, under 1495, they're going to pay us for that. So it's sort of a good thing. We were all very happy. We started talking to our investment people, like, this is great, we're going to get a lot of money. And you don't really understand this, and Brady's going to talk about it more. But you guys know this in your homes. If you are using every dollar you have just to pay for your mortgage, your food, your kids, your health benefits, all of a sudden, there's not a lot of money to invest. And then you hear about all these people making all this money, investing and doing all this really cool stuff. And you can't do that because you're using your money just to pay out your needs. That's the same thing that was happening to the pension fund. We were paying so much money out to everybody just to make payments current. We didn't have a lot of money to invest. So when 1495 came around, we were like bonanza. We're going to get a lot of money. We're going to be able to invest it and get a good return for you. That's what your trustees do. They spend a lot of time making sure that they prudently and smartly invest your money, and then we would have more money to contribute. So we were really excited. But then all of a sudden the city kind of took a look at the math. And again, ladies and gentlemen, this is math. This is just adding up the numbers here. They looked at it and they said, hey, whoa. We can't make the payment we would have to make under that ARP payment. And if we start taxing people what it's required, you know, your taxes to live where you live will go up 4 or 5 times what you're currently paying. And so the city said, well, wait a minute, we need a little bit of time here. We can't immediately start levying taxes to pay this. We need sort of a little grace period. And that's where Senate Bill 777 came out. So this came, and we kind of recognized this was going to happen. I'll tell you why. If you remember, when we were talking about the, and I'm sorry about this left and back quote, but this slide, when 1495 passed, it said that the city was going to start levying in 2015, right? Well, we're not dummies at the pension fund. The trustees were looking at the city's levying, what they levied, and they didn't levy in 2015. So we were gearing up for a fight. You know, Tony Martin was like, get going, let's go, we're fighting with people. And then what happened? They came in with 777 because they said, hey, we can't pay it, we need some time. So in 777, what the city did, and this was in 2016, they put us on a longer funding plan. They said, okay, we know we committed to give you our funding, full funding, or at least 90% funding. But we can't do it yet. So we need to have a little bit of a ramp. We want a running start, if you will, before we start making our full boat payments. And so that's what we call the ramp. What they negotiated and were able to get worked out is that for the next 5 years, 2016 to 2020, what they said was, look, we're making a payment now. Before, with the multiplier, they probably paid the fund approximately $100 million a year, each and every year, right? When you put the actuarial art funding in place, they had to come up with $370 million a year. That's a frickin' slap to the side of the head in terms of if you're the mayor doing the budget, right? That's like, whoa. So the ramp is 5 years of payments where we got more than $100 million, but less than what they needed to give us of $370 million. And what they did was they effectively agreed upon a specific dollar amount. So what I did here is I showed you the two differences. It really wasn't major. There was a lot of angst about the difference between 1495 and 777. But really, the main difference in those two acts is the timing. It just said, look, we can't pay, so we're going to do it a little bit over time. And you'll see in 777, in 2016, they decided to pay us $199 million. So before, in 2.26, we were getting $100 million. Now, in 2016, they started to give us more. We got $199 million. The next year, in 2017, they gave us $208 million. The next year, 2018, the city gave us $227 million. And finally, in this year, we're getting $235 million, right? And then next year, if all goes well, we get $245 million. So you can see where we've much improved, right, from our perspective and your perspective at the pension fund. It went from $100 million that they were giving us year after year after year to these better numbers. But the other thing it did was it pushed out when we would get to 90% funded. So we were going to be 90% funded by 2040. And that's kind of what's consistent with the other public pension funds. And you know there's public pension funds at the state level, city level, the county level. And the state had already got ARP funded. That was one of the kind of, pardon my language, but the crappy things about this was that the state employees had ARP funding, and you guys are still paying taxes to the state. So you're effectively paying for state employees to have ARP funding and security, but we didn't have it at the city. So when 1495 came in, it evened the playing field. It gave you guys, city employees, ARP funding just like the state. Now I might mention to you, just kind of anecdotally, the county employees still don't have ARP funding, because I represent that fund too. So it's kind of unfair in a way that, you know, that everybody doesn't have it. But the state had it, now you had it, and now we have a ramp, just like the state had a ramp. Because it's recognized and fiscally prudent to know that you gotta kind of build up to get the money. Does that make sense? Okay, so when the city started thinking about the ramp payments, again, they kind of said, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to give you static amounts. We're going to give you 199, 208, the numbers we told you about. And then But actually what happened, and your pension fund sort of was watching over this, instead of getting 199 million, the city only gave us 192 million, a little bit of change. And we waited and we thought, okay, let's see what happens. And Trustee Vasquez was on the fund at the time. He was helping with this, all these familiar faces. I love seeing it. In 2017, the city was supposed to give us 208 million, and they only gave us 201 million. And then it was like, lo and behold, 2018, they were supposed to give us 219, they gave us 220, they were supposed to give us 227, they gave us 219. Okay, so that made us mad at the pension fund. Your trustees were like, hey, wait a minute, you told us you needed a ramp. We're understanding that you need some time, but you told us you're going to give us the money. You got to give us the money. And so the pension fund took advantage of a provision that was in Senate Bill 777 called the intercept. And some of you might, when you read the paper, you might see that they always talk about the IMRF fund. Do you hear to see that? The IMRF, which is the Illinois Municipal Retirement Fund, that fund is like 96% funded all the time. And a lot of people who hear about pensions say, how the heck can that pension fund be 98 or 96% funded and our fund be less than 20% funded? What the heck is up with that? And the difference is the intercept. Because all those years ago, when a little municipality like Cicero or Bridgeview or Summit, one of these places, didn't pay their pension contributions, what they would do is the pension funds would go to the state and intercept the money that was going from the state to those little villages or towns. So basically, it made the pension funds always the first person to get the money, right? You didn't pay the pensions, your money didn't come back for streets and for landscaping and for anything else. So in Senate Bill 777, the union was able to get that intercept for us, which was a really good benefit. And then lo and behold, the city didn't pay us, and we went and used it. Now, in fairness to the city, it's not that they didn't pay us. What the city believes, and they honestly believe this, is that they've always gotten the money for the pension funds by levying taxes. And they said, we just continued to do what we always did. We continued to levy taxes. And I know it's a shock to you folks, but not everybody pays their taxes. And so the city said, hey, we levied for $199 million, but we only got in $192 million, so that's all you're getting. And we said, not so fast, because the statute no longer says that it's based on a levy. It says, what did I tell you? It says you get a specific static amount. It said pay the pension funds $199 million. So we've said to the city, hey, this is your problem that caused the collection. It's your problem, not our problem with the pension fund. And so we use the intercept, and actually, because as I said, the law, if you read it, it says that the city has to get an annual amount that's equal to and no less than that static dollar amount. So the city doesn't agree with that, but again, we thought, hey, they owed us $1.7 million 1 year, $1.5 million. So what we did in 2017 or 18, we went to the city and we asked them nicely. We said, hey, you owe us money, we'll wait for it a little bit, but pay us the money. The city said, hey, we have a difference of opinion. Respectfully, we don't want to pay you. We think you only get what's tax levied. So what we did was we filed an intercept. And it really worked well, I think. We went to the state controller. Well, let me back up. Under the statute, we had two remedies, two tools in our toolbox. And the trustees of the pension fund, on your behalf, exercised both those options. They empowered me. They said, go forth and fight them to get this money. File the intercept and file a mandamus action. So we're going to talk about the intercept first. We certified to the controller the amount we thought we were owed, and we said to the controller, before you give the city of Chicago their money, go in and take the money that you owe us for the pension fund. And actually, I will tell you, the controller followed the law, in my opinion, to the T, and she did exactly that. She was very courageous in giving us the money, even though the city fought her, they have very good lawyers, and they fought and continue to believe we're wrong. Now, I will say the state controller happened to be, luckily for us, Susanna Mendoza, who sat for many years as a trustee on the Fireman's Annuity and Benefit Fund. So she was 100% aligned with our interests. Now, I don't mean to imply she didn't do the law. She followed the law, but she was dogged in making sure that she didn't delay. She told her people, follow the law. Don't be intimidated. Give the pension fund their money. And I'm happy to report, as a result of your trustees' direction, we were lucky enough to receive all those amounts for 2016, 17, and 18. So we're fully paid on those static dollar amounts. We've gotten 199, whatever the numbers are, I always forget them, but we collected 199, 208, 227, and we're not through 2019 yet, but I guarantee you we're going to get the 235 too. They know it's coming. And I will tell you, your pension fund were the ones who did it first. Now all the other public pension funds, the police fund, the muni fund, the laborers fund, they're all filing steps too. But guess what? We get priority because we filed first. So it's like I said yesterday, having 6 brothers, I knew you got to file right away. Because if you don't grab that cookie when the plates go by, it ain't coming back around, right? So we did that. You should be very proud of your trustees. Now, the second thing you can do is file a mandamus action. And a mandamus action sounds just what it is, like you're demanding something. And that's what a mandamus is. It's saying to the city, hey, there's no reason not to pay us our money. Now, we filed that lawsuit in the Circuit Court of Cook County. As I said, we went down 2 tracks to make sure we got the money. And when we did that, once I got the money, I said to the trustees, we better dismiss this lawsuit because I don't need the lawsuit anymore. Why are you paying me to do this? We already got the money. So we tried to dismiss the lawsuit, but the city said, whoa, not so fast. We still want to get the money back. So I will tell you, the city's still fighting to try to get the money back in the mandamus action. And they're saying, hey, we know we said 199, but there's still that loss in collection, and that loss in collection should be borne by the pension fund. So we'll see what happens. I think the judge is supposed to rule on November 22nd, and again, the trustees have decided that they're going to continue to put out information to you as often and as thoroughly as we can, and this is something that if you check our website, we'll update you as soon as this happens. Okay, so now we got to look at what happens after the break. After our 5 years ends, what's going to happen? Well, they're going to have to begin to pay the hard payment. So in 2021, just to kind of refresh your recollection, they're going to have to actuarially determine what we need to be 90% by 2055, right? And just to put this in perspective for you, so you understand the pressure the mayor's under and why you're reading about this in the paper every day, is what that means is the city's going to have to give us in 2021 $372 million. Now, that is a double slap to the sides of the head. I mean, that is unbelievable. And that's just for our fund. Muni's worse. The Muni fund is worse. Now, she doesn't have to do the Muni fund for a couple of years. She's got 2 more years. But you can see how daunting this is for the mayor. She's got to come up with $127 million more than she did in 2019 and 2020. Now, where's she going to find them? Property taxes, right? That's not in our interest, is it? That's not in our interest. But that's what she has to do. So it's possible that they're thinking about ways to maybe push that off a little bit further. In other words, soften the blow a little bit. And a lot of people, many years ago, we used to talk a lot about Detroit. And Detroit and Chicago are 2 different things. You can't panic about that. But what is true about Detroit, and where the mayor, I think, has a really good argument, is that if you raise property taxes so high that people like you, good people like you, just decide, I'm getting the heck out of here, then the whole system begins to kind of collapse. So you have to think from her perspective that she needs to keep this balanced. She needs to figure out a way to pay these. And she, as I told you before, she hasn't said she's not going to pay them. But you got to figure out that maybe she's going to need a little more time to do it, in my opinion. She hasn't said that to me. She hasn't said that publicly. I'm just saying, I've been doing this pension stuff for about 38 years, and I can do the math. It's a lot of money. Okay, so now, what the mayor did say was, while we are working towards balancing this year's revenue with next year's costs, 2 years from now, she pointed out, in 2021, we will have to figure out how to pay for the increased annual cost of over $200 million for public safety services. So she's on to us, she knows, she's done the math. She said, followed by another increase of $400 million for municipal and labor pensions the year after that. So when you think about it, by 2022, she's looking at another $500 million or more in additional monies that she needs to fund these pensions. She said, no matter what we do this coming budget, Chicago is going to be on the hook for over $500 million in new pension obligations over the next 3 years. And it only goes up from there, my friends. So, again, we got to be fair to the mayor. We got to keep it in context.